Stranger Than Fiction it's an important album. It really, truly is an important album.
Have you heard the one about the guy who tries to make them laugh and makes them cry? Oh, well, that's for sure. They'll go home. Stop me if you've heard this one before.
This one's about the odd ones out, the people who go out on a limb, get on stage, you know, the Harry Houdinis and the wild rock and rollers and the comedians and that sort of thing.
What sort of music is he? What does he do? He headlines blues festivals, so he must be a blues artist. Been on Saturday Night Country, he must be a country artist. Anthony O'Grady's 4-star review, it was listed as a rock album.
I mean, these days, a lot of people, they design their records so every track is in a similar zone, and you put it in the car and it's wallpaper kind of music, you know, boutique music, I guess. Mine does not do that. It can go from a wild psychobilly rocker to a very Brechtian moment, you know. And as much as I try, that's just what comes out. I mean, that's just me.
Would you please welcome to the stage now, with great enthusiasm, to launch this magnificent album, Glenn Cardier and the Sideshow.
What's that you say? I rose another day. What's that you say? I rose another day.
I got a real insight into, I guess you would describe it as the emotional purity of your songwriting when you said once, I like to read my album reviews because sometimes I get to learn what a song is about, often when I have no idea myself.
When you're writing a song, initially when it begins to emerge, it's the most exciting, euphoric time. You know, you're on cloud 9 because there it is. The song is coming in.
You're gonna see me through. You'll weave your spells and work your miracles. I see signs and wonders, everything you do.
If somebody wanted my music for a movie, no matter what the movie was about, I could have a song that would fit in with that because it deals with the emotional things rather than specific imagery.
She dances on the table anytime she's able. Don't tell me she's unstable. That's not what I see.
The gentleman who's going to be here tonight, who shares the same name as you, Mr. Glenn A. Baker. Let's go back a long way. You started your careers in the 70s. He's a music journalist, you as the wild rocker. And now here you are 30 years later.
Still friends, isn't that amazing?
We know each other as mates, but I'm absolutely in awe of him as an artist. He is one of the most impressive and important singer-songwriters, creative people in the country, without any question. Writing these wonderfully textured, woven, at times intricate, incredibly evocative songs.
That was always my intention. That was what I had in mind. You'd be amazed at my deception.
I was going to ask you about longevity because when you take a look at Glenn Cardier's career, there was a hiatus there early on. Did you ever think that he might come back and make another album at that time?
No, and in fact I used to actively prod him doing a song. He had given it up. He really had put his guitars away. But it must have gnawed at him, and I'm sure he said this to you. It must have there must have been something inside that just kept sort of niggling and saying he had something left, something more to say. What we didn't realise was that what he had left to say was going to be the finest work of his career. The material now has a depth and a texture. It covers an extraordinary terrain, which is, I think I'm quoted on the album cover as saying that could only be his own. So,
you take home a miracle, so just you stay on.
the Australian public all loves about you is your seemingly limitless supply, an unending supply of enthusiasm and energy.
I've been accused of that. I truly do what I do because I am moved by it. And when it moves me, well, I feel like I should be a proselytiser. I think I should be going out and pounding on doors and say, listen to this. This is fantastic.
Round and round the rows of coloured lights.
You are a bit of a wordsmith, I guess you would say. So I suppose that you have that in common with Glenn Cardier as well, because
Yeah.
he's a wonderful writer.
Some of his lyrics just send tingles up and down my spine. He's wonderfully literate. He's wonderfully expressive. I mean, I can always tell a Glenn Cardier song usually by a giveaway phrase or line or
Right.
something in one of his songs, because, well, we all have what we grew up with impacting upon us for the rest of our life. So why has my friendship with Glenn survived as long as it has? Because words are really important to him. Glenn understands things that a lot of other people don't.
She flew away up to the moon. She just up and left one afternoon. You've been wonderful. Thank you very much. Good night. Thank you very much.